Hello folks, it is live Q&A time here on the Cowboys Report, so make sure you're using the hashtag Cowboys to get your questions on the show, both live on Facebook and live on, that makes it much easier for producer Alicia to actually find them and bring them up on screen. So again, make sure it's hashtag Cowboys. First up from Jeff Hardy, is your brother Matt also watching? Let me know. Says, question, shouldn't the Cowboys trade Zeke for Le'Veon Bell? But why? Is my response. There actually isn't very much guaranteed money on Lev Bell's deal, so the Cowboys don't save a lot of that in on that side of things. And we didn't see Lev Bell play at all last year. We saw Zeke play. Zeke was perhaps the best running back in the NFL, so I'm going to go with the more sure thing and frankly the cheaper option, at least for now, in Zeke Elliott. All right, from longtime watcher Ryth K, what do you think Amari Cooper wants in his deal now that Michael Thomas asked for $22 million? I don't know, maybe 20? A lot of it depends on what, Michael Thomas settles for. Like if Thomas settles for 20, maybe you get Cooper for 19? I think it was funny. We had the initial report way back when of the Cowboys were stunned by Amari Cooper's contract request. And I'm kind of like, well, what was the request? If it was 22, yeah, I would have been stunned. I don't think it was that high. Was it like 18, 19? That's really not that much of a surprise there. So I don't really know about Amari Cooper. I don't think his asking price, it might not change until Thomas actually signs his deal. You can ask for whatever you want, but what you actually sign for is what will impact in the long run there, the actual contract value for Amari Cooper. All right, from John Parker, do you think Dak will have his contract done before the season opener? Yes. I think before we get to week 1 of the regular season, probably even before week 1 of the preseason, I think that Dak Prescott has his new contract with the Dallas Cowboys, and yes, there's going to be a big-time sticker shock. Stevie Mac23, the real question for you, Tom, is are you a PBJ or a fluffernutter? Easiest question we've ever had on the Cowboys Report. It's PB&J every single time. You can have your opinion about fluffernutter, but you're wrong. PB&J is vastly better as a sandwich there. All right, Matt S. wants to know when is training camp. Unfortunately, we got a month. The reporting date is July 25th. The first actual practice is on July 27th. So we're not going to go anywhere anytime soon in terms of actual on-the-field work. Hopefully everyone stays out of trouble, but not until late July does training camp open up for the Dallas Cowboys. That'll be, of course, out in Oxnard, California. Another one here from Matt S., getting on the unpopular opinion train, says Cobb hasn't proved anything to be an automatic starter. I like Hearns better. Everyone take note. When you're submitting your unpopular opinions, by the way, tweet them to me at whatgoingdown. The URL is right there at the bottom of your screen, or at least the handle is, so I can actually record these because these will get lost once the live chat is over. Tweet them to me. These are the type of things I'm asking for. Actual unpopular opinions. I think most people like Cobb over Hearns. Thank you, Matt S., for giving us a good one here. All right, this one from Sergio Jaime. Do you think Dak is a top 5 NFC quarterback? Well, I'm not taking him over Drew Brees or Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson. I don't know if I take him over Matt Ryan. Then there's Jared Goff, Trubisky. Ooh, that's a tough one. He's in that 5 to 8 range, somewhere in there. I think I might slot him in at 6. That's a good question, though. He's right on the precipice there. I think there's a pretty clear top 3 and maybe top 4 there. And I think top 5, though, is a legitimate discussion for him. All right, from Food Review, do you take the over-under 10 wins for Dallas? Can I cheat and just push? My projection right now, of course, wow, it wasn't really a word what I said before. My projection right now is 10 wins. 11's tough, though, against this schedule. I lean towards 10, but I think 9 might actually be a little bit more likely than 11. So I'm going to cheat, say the over-under is actually 9.5. I'm going to take the over on that. Fernando Gonzalez chants Jerry talks Kam Chancellor out of retirement and joins Dallas. It's not that Kam Chancellor wanted to be retired, guys. It's that his neck is messed up. Kam Chancellor, it's not a desire to not play football anymore. It's that he isn't medically cleared. So Jerry could probably convince him if he was healthy, but it's not a desire thing. It's a medical thing. So no, you're not going to see Kam Chancellor here with the Dallas Cowboys. Alan Williams, are there any more players that Dallas is looking to sign in free agency? As of right now, probably not. Maybe if there's an injury, things will change. I know people have mentioned Eric Berry. I don't know if the Cowboys have much there because of his medical history. If he gets healthier, maybe that could change too. If anything, I'd say watch out for a running back if the combination of Darius Jackson and Mike Weber underwhelms early. But if we might also see some like bottom of the roster moves, like the fullback they signed last week that no one cares about because he's not going to make the active roster. You might see some of those, but no one that you'll go, oh yeah, we just got this guy, he's going to make the roster. More of that bottom of the roster shuffling that happens each and every single year. All right, Sean Hayes, what kind of trades are possible to get a tight end for when Witten is done? He means Witten. That's a funny typo there because it's a written typo. Get it? All right, no one laughed in the studio. All right, anyway, someone booed me too. Wow, thanks, Tad. As for trades here, that's a little too early to say. Like, if something changes for a notable team, maybe Minnesota, and they end up shopping Kyle Rudolph down the road, possibly. I think in reality, if you're looking for a long-term Witten replacement, look towards free agency. There will be players available on that market. And, of course, look towards the draft, where it's a little bit cheaper, a little bit more cost-effective. And, of course, look to your own roster. Blake Jarwin, Dalton Schultz jump out there as well. Anthony Green, will the offense, he means offense, not offensive there, have more RPOs due to Kellen Moore as OC? I hope so, but I will continue to take this stance, even though I know it's very tough right now with the offseason hype train and all that. I will wait until I see it. We heard all last year how it was going to be a Dak-friendly offense, and then guess what happened? It really wasn't a Dak-friendly offense. So I have some cautious optimism around Kellen Moore, but I definitely want to wait and see it actually go down. I hope that's the case, but I can't say for certainty until, we actually end up seeing it. All right, folks, shout out your city, state, or your country in the comment section here. We'll let these roll in, and then I'll give you guys some shout-outs. Of course, I live right now in the great city of Dallas, which is a part of Texas. Fun fact, if you guys didn't know that, that's how geography works. But let us know where you're from. I'm originally from Cincinnati. Shout out your city, your state, or your country. We'll give some shout-outs here on air very briefly. Trenton Tremble's from Hawaii. Food Review says Texas. Country Music in the Dallas Cowboys says Iowa. We got Darian says he's from Maryland. Sergio Jaime says he's from Mexico City. Got a Dixon, California in there. Preston, 123 to Mississippi. First time I think I've ever seen this one on a show here at Chat Sports. Vermont is checking in. Kentucky, San Antonio. Got Sweden. Thank you, William, there. Daniel from Riverside. Keep those coming, folks. Remember to shout out your city, state, or your country in the comments section. Back to some more live Q&A from Everett Brown. What do you think about Dak Prescott and Amari Cooper not signing a contract and betting on themselves and getting a max deal after the season after they win a Super Bowl? I mean, I suppose it's certainly possible, and this is also why, for the Cowboys, you need to push for a contract extension too. The worst scenario, I guess, is that if you wait, you pay them more, and you end up with like a Joe Flacco type scenario, which I don't think Dak is Joe Flacco, but that's like the nightmare scenario for Dak Prescott. If you pay them now, you will save yourself money in the long run. That's what I push for. The Cowboys got DeMarcus Lawrence last offseason for $17 million. I know you can't get individual players for $3 million, but you could have shoveled that money right now to Dak Prescott or Amari Cooper. So it's an idea from them. I think it's somewhat for Dak and Amari themselves, of course. It's nice to have the money in the bank, because if they get hurt, well, then all of a sudden their earnings have gone down quite a bit. All right, Joseph Francis, do you believe the Dallas defense will be even better this year with the addition, not edition, Joseph, of Quinn, Hill, and Aloka? I certainly hope so. I mean, my mindset is, not even on the addition side, is who'd they lose? You got 2 games out of David Irving. Robert Quinn comes in. If you keep Randy Gregory, that's a upgraded defensive end. Your linebacking core is young and immensely talented, and your secondary, even if it isn't George Iloka, is pretty much the same as what it was last year. So I don't know if it's the addition necessarily beyond Quinn. I'm not overly enthralled with them because it was a second-round pick and George Iloka. But the defense should take a step back. The biggest thing for improvement is going to be forcing more turnovers. Defense was great as a bend but don't break unit. Now I got to see more takeaways. All right, from Preston 123 says Dwayne Haskins or Drew Lock. I had Haskins graded out higher between those two during the NFL draft. Gerrod Bird, who gets the franchise tag out of Jaylon Smith, Dak, Zeke, or Cooper? Well, I mean, technically you can see multiple guys because they're due for new contracts in different years. Dak and Cooper's deals are up after this season. Of the two that gets the most likely, I think it's Amari Cooper, but frankly, I think Byron Jones, out of all of these guys, by far makes the most sense for a franchise tag. Jaylon Smith is an RFA. Then the season after this one, much like Zeke, he becomes a true unrestricted free agent. I think Zeke might make the most sense there if it actually gets to that point for the Dallas Cowboys. All right, Benjamin, tell us, Cowboys or Eagles winning the NFC East, do you think both teams make the playoffs? This is the Cowboys Report. Of course, I'm going to pick the Cowboys to win the NFC East, although I do think you see both teams in the end up making the playoffs. They're, frankly, two of the top 6 teams in the NFC. Michael Earl Medina from Facebook here. Who do the Cowboys sign first? Dak, Zeke, or Cooper? A couple typos there, but it's okay. It happens. It's the internet. I lean towards Dak getting signed first. I think it's kind of a neck-and-neck race there between Dak and Amari Cooper. Zeke is very much there on the bottom 3, or at the bottom of those 3 players and those 3 options. All right, Alan Williams, what do you think the Cowboys need to do to be a Super Bowl threat team? Are they already a Super Bowl threat team? Kind of think that they actually are. In terms of actually winning it, you need to have better play calling from Kellen Moore. Garrett needs to not be as conservative down the stretch as he's been in past years. I think he was a little bit better this last year, but he tends to tighten up down the stretch and get awfully conservative. And you need Dak to take a step forward. Not necessarily like a gigantic leap, because he was really good last year, especially once he got Amari Cooper. But you need him to be a little bit better. And of course, you need some luck. Injury luck, officiating luck, all kinds of luck matters down the stretch, because in the playoffs, look, we saw it with the Saints. One bad call cost them. You get on the right side of that call, all of a sudden, you end up getting a big break there. All right, Rife K, who are your top 5 players still available in free agency? As it relates to the Cowboys, if you're ignoring injuries and all that, I guess Eric Berry's at the top. I like Jay Ajayi there. If Byron Jones' medical continues to come back with red flags, Morris Claiborne is on there. Trey Boston somehow is still unsigned. Makes no sense to me. Let's see then. No really tight ends. Maybe you can find a defensive lineman. Frankly, it's not a great crop of offense or of free agents out there, but Ajayi, Claiborne, some other backs also make some sense as the top available free agents for the Cowboys. All right, folks, we know a lot of you guys watch the Cowboys Report, but also aren't subscribed, which is always weird to me. You keep watching, and we appreciate that, but go subscribe. The link is below. Of course, you're watching right now on YouTube, so just hit that big button and subscribe. We'll be here all offseason long, even when there's nothing going on around the Cowboys. We're going to still have stuff to talk about here on the Cowboys Report. All right, from Alakai Trimble, biggest surprise to make the roster. For me, it's Cedrick Wilson making it as a wide receiver number 4. Okay. I think that qualifies as a surprise. If you want to, I'll go super deep dark horse here, who's probably not going to make it. How about Kyle Cairo as a backup linebacker? Now, some will tell you he's a strong safety, but he's worked at linebackers, listed as linebacker, as a middle linebacker on the Cowboys roster. That's a super deep dark horse there, because I want to go actual surprise there. But I like Cedrick Wilson there, because there's going to be a tough battle for those 4 to 5, 6, maybe 7 spots at wide receiver. All right, Benjamin, tell us, why are people calling this a make or break year? I feel like our team is looking good for the long run. There definitely are the young pieces in place, but it's very much a make or break year for Jason Garrett. If the Cowboys miss the playoffs, he's gone. Now, there are some exceptions, like, Dak gets hurt and they stick with Cooper Rush or Mike White for 15 games and it's a total disaster. Maybe that changes things. But Garrett did not get an extension for a reason. The Cowboys are going to make him earn it this year again. They've done it before and it worked out, at least for the time being there. This is the Cowboys' chance here. The Super Bowl window is maybe at its widest point because you're on a first quarterback contract, so it's cheaper. You have money to spend there. You have a good, talented young roster. It does get expensive down the road. Welcome to life in the NFL. You just have to deal with that. But for Garrett in particular, if they don't make the NFC Championship game, I don't know if he's done enough to save his job, quite frankly. All right, Val Castillo, a longtime watcher as well. Will we look to move Brown since he's on the last year in his contract and we probably won't re-sign him? Of the notable players who could be traded, I do think Anthony Brown makes sense on that list. A lot of it depends on the other injuries. Byron Jones, when does he come back? Does Chido Awuzie stay healthy? He's had some injury problems in the past as well. And then what happens with the young guys? Does one or even multiple of Donovan Olumba, Michael Jackson, and or Chris Westry step up and emerge? If that happens, then it makes some more sense to shop Anthony Brown. But he's kind of one of those mid-tier players. You might get a 4th or a 5th round comp pick for him. Maybe it's a 5th round pick. And frankly, is it better to keep Anthony Brown now, use him and help make your defense better, or get like a 4th round pick back for him right now and you can get a 5th next year? I'm not sure it actually does. So that's a tough decision there for the Cowboys coming up, frankly, during the preseason. All right, Dallas Cowboys 51. Will Zeke have the title of leading rusher this season? I actually do think that's going to be the case. I think you'll see Zeke lead the NFL in rushing yards this year. Maybe not the same amount of volume, but frankly, I think you might see his efficiency go up just a little bit, especially if the Cowboys actually throw the ball on first down. They should do that more because everyone is expecting run. The play action works well. Kellen Moore, I know you're watching. Give me all of the play action this year. All right, Victor, who will have a better year, Amari Cooper or Randall Cobb? Frankly, this one is an easy question for me. It's Amari Cooper. He is going to have a big year for the Cowboys. He's going to be more actively involved. I think Cooper is going to have the biggest year by far, frankly, of all the wide receivers this offseason. Frankly, a better question is Michael Gallup versus Randall Cobb. All right, Alan Williams, who stays and who goes in your opinion, Tom? Do you mean like on the roster? Because that's a long video that we already have up on the channel. Go check out my way too early 53-man roster projection here. Beyond that, I mean, you have to be a little bit more specific here to actually answer that one on the live Q&A. All right, Ernest Martins, my bad there. Why are the boys taking so long to sign their players? Dak, Amari, and the rookies. I don't know. Great question. The Cowboys operate under the deadline makes... Well, the first boys have all been signed. That's not a concern. Dak and Amari, though, which I was actually focused on here, they operate under the deadlines make deals philosophy, and I don't know what's taking them so long. I feel the front office does not feel the same urgency that others do, so I don't have a great answer for why on that one, Ernest. Hey Cowboys fans, thanks for watching the Cowboys Report. If you haven't already, click right here to subscribe to our channel for all the best Cowboys coverage on the internet. That's news, rumors, highlights, mailbags, film studies, and a whole lot more. And I'm making your lives a little bit easier as well with the next Cowboys Report video right here.